Sophie was 22 years old and lived in a large modern city. Her life was always busy and fast. Every morning, she woke up early, took a crowded bus to university, attended long classes, and spent hours studying in the library. In the evenings, she worked at a clothing store to earn extra money for her education. By the time she returned home, she was usually exhausted. Although Sophie had many responsibilities, she tried her best to stay positive. She wanted to graduate with excellent grades and build a successful future for herself. However, deep inside, she often felt lonely and tired. Her days felt repetitive, and she rarely had time to relax or enjoy life. One rainy afternoon, Sophie was sitting in the university library when she received a phone call from her aunt, Clara, who lived in a small seaside town several hours away from the city. Clara owned a tiny bakery near the beach and had lived there for many years. She invited Sophie to spend part of her summer vacation with her. At first, Sophie was unsure about the idea. She had planned to stay in the city and continue working during the holiday. However, after thinking carefully, she realized she truly needed a break. Her mind was full of stress, and she had not taken a proper vacation in years. Finally, she accepted the invitation. A week later, Sophie packed her suitcase and boarded a train heading toward the coast. As the train moved farther away from the city, the view outside the window slowly changed. Tall buildings disappeared and were replaced by green hills, wide fields, and quiet villages. The air seemed cleaner, and the sky looked brighter. After several hours, Sophie arrived at the small seaside town. The place was peaceful and beautiful. Narrow streets were lined with colorful houses, and small cafes stood near the harbor. Fishing boats floated gently on the calm blue water while seagulls flew above the sea. Clara welcomed Sophie warmly and took her to the bakery. The bakery was small but charming. Fresh bread, cakes, and cookies filled the shelves, and the sweet smell of cinnamon and butter spread through the air. Sophie immediately felt comfortable there. During the first few days, Sophie helped Clara in the bakery every morning. She learned how to prepare bread, decorate cakes, and serve customers. The work was tiring, but it felt different from her stressful life in the city. The customers smiled often, spoke kindly, and seemed to enjoy simple moments. In the afternoons, Sophie explored the town. She walked along the beach, visited small shops, and watched fishermen repairing their nets near the harbor. Sometimes she sat quietly on a bench and listened to the sound of the waves. For the first time in a long while, her mind felt calm. One evening, while walking near the beach, Sophie discovered a hidden path between tall trees. Curious, she followed it slowly until she reached a quiet cliff overlooking the sea. From there, she could see the sunset perfectly. The sky turned orange, pink, and purple, while the water reflected the warm colors like a giant mirror. Sophie returned to the cliff many times during her stay. It became her favorite place in the town. She often carried a notebook with her and began writing about her thoughts and feelings. She wrote about her dreams, her fears, and the pressure she constantly felt in the city. As the days passed, Sophie started noticing small changes in herself. She laughed more easily and slept better at night. She no longer checked her phone every few minutes or worried constantly about work and deadlines. Instead, she began appreciating quiet mornings, fresh sea air, and peaceful evenings. One day, Clara became ill and needed to rest for several days. Sophie decided to manage the bakery alone during that time. At first, she felt nervous because she had never handled such responsibility before. However, she worked hard and did her best. Every morning, she woke up before sunrise to prepare bread and pastries. She cleaned the bakery, served customers, and organized supplies carefully. Although the work was challenging, she felt proud of herself. The customers appreciated her kindness and effort, and many returned every day. Through this experience, Sophie discovered that she was stronger and more capable than she had believed. She realized that confidence grows slowly through experience and responsibility. One afternoon, while organizing old boxes in the bakery's storage room, Sophie found a collection of photographs from Clara's younger years. The pictures showed Clara traveling to different countries, meeting new people, and living adventurous experiences before opening the bakery. Sophie was surprised because she had always imagined Clara living a quiet and ordinary life. Looking at the photographs made her understand that people often carry many hidden stories and dreams inside them. That evening, Sophie thought deeply about her own future. For years, she had followed a strict plan without asking herself what truly made her happy. She wanted success, but she also wanted peace, creativity, and meaningful experiences. The following week, a summer festival took place in the town. Streets were decorated with lights and flowers, and music filled the air. Local artists sold paintings and handmade crafts, while children played games near the beach. Sophie spent the evening walking through the festival and observing the joyful atmosphere around her. People danced, laughed, and enjoyed the moment without worrying about tomorrow. Watching them made Sophie realize how important balance was in life. Later that night, she walked alone to the cliff near the sea. The moonlight reflected beautifully on the water, and the cool wind moved gently through her hair. She sat quietly for a long time, thinking about everything she had experienced during the summer. For the first time in many years, Sophie felt hopeful instead of anxious. She understood that life did not need to be perfect all the time. Difficult days would always exist, but small moments of happiness were equally important. When summer finally ended, Sophie prepared to return to the city. Leaving the town was emotional for her because the place had changed her deeply. She had arrived feeling exhausted and lost, but she was leaving with a calmer heart and a clearer mind. Back in the city, Sophie continued her studies and work, but her attitude toward life was different. She organized her time better, rested more often, and stopped putting impossible pressure on herself. She also continued writing in her notebook every evening. Months later, Sophie received excellent results at university. Instead of feeling only relief, she also felt proud because she had learned something more valuable than academic success. She had learned how important it was to protect her peace, enjoy simple moments, and create balance in life. Sometimes, when the city became too noisy and stressful, Sophie looked at photographs from the seaside town and remembered the sound of the waves, the warm bakery, and the quiet cliff above the sea. Those memories reminded her that even during difficult times, peace and happiness could still be found in small and ordinary places. New words. Exhausted, adjective. Meaning very tired. Example, Sophie felt exhausted after a long day. Routine, noun. Meaning the usual way of doing things regularly. Example, her morning routine started at 6 o'clock. Peaceful, adjective. Meaning calm and quiet. Example, the beach was peaceful in the evening. Curious, adjective. Meaning wanting to know something. Example, Sophie was curious about the hidden path. Reflect, verb. Meaning to throw back light or images. Example, the water reflected the sunset. Responsibility, noun. Meaning something you must take care of. Example, managing the bakery was a big responsibility. Confidence, noun. Meaning belief in yourself. Example, Sophie gained confidence slowly. Adventurous, adjective. Meaning excited to try new things. Example, Clara had an adventurous life. Balance, noun. Meaning a healthy mix between things. Example, balance is important in life. Hopeful, adjectives. Meaning feeling positive about the future. Example, Sophie felt hopeful again. Thank you for watching this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.